How you doing, everybody? Right on the table here, I've got a Warmachine group going, 20 points per side. What I'm basically doing, and the reason I'm taping this, is I'm trying to remember how to play this game. So I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, and I'm basically just playing against myself. So I just want to make sure that I get everything kind of down. I'm sure I'm going to make a ton of mistakes, but that's why you guys watch, and you can point out some things. I've tried reading through the book. I'm trying to get myself re-familiarized with everything so I can really start to do some bigger battles, especially with all I have. I did that video yesterday, just kind of showing what I was cleaning up, and I actually found a ton more stuff, believe it or not. So what I basically want to do is just kind of do a good walkthrough of this, and just kind of get myself familiar with moving units. Because right here we have 5 man-of-war shock troops. Okay, a leader and 4 guys is 9 points. I've got a destroyer jack, and he has bombard and an executioner axe, and he's 9 points. And this guy is a juggernaut, which has 2 melee weapons, and he is 7 points. So that all comes out with the +5 from Commissar Sorsha to 20 points exactly. On the other side here, I have the CONvergence. I have a cipher, and he is 9 points. I have a monitor. He is 8 points. I have the Axis, the harmonic enforcer. He is my jack, and he gives +6. And then I have a galvanizer, a diffuser, and a mitigator, and that comes up to 21 points. So they have a slight advantage, true, but you know, let's just kind of use it and go with it and get a good start with this. Now, just to remind myself, and maybe some of you guys that haven't played this, or maybe have seen this before, there are 3 phases in this game. There's a maintenance phase, a control phase, and an activation phase. At the beginning of the game, you're both supposed to roll 2 dice. Okay, I mean a dice person, and that person would set up. He'd be player 1. But for time's sake, I've already setting it up. I've already put everything out. And we're going to have the Khador go first, just for time's sake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the first phase, which would be the maintenance phase. Okay, now with the maintenance phase, all things goes as this: remove all focus points from your models. Well, okay, we'll just do that for the sake of doing it. Check the expiration of continuous effects. So if we had any kind of effects on either one of these guys, or we had powered up something, or she had cast a spell, that would end, and we would remove all the expired tokens for that. All dealt damage by continuous effects is resolved. So say something was caught fire or something like that with certain spells, or that would be assigned. And we will resolve any other effects that occurred during the maintenance phase. Next phase is the control phase. Each of your models with focus manipulation gain their focus. So Sorsha would get 6 focus. Okay, and at this time, she can decide to give her focus out to whoever she decided. So, just for the sake of it, we're going to put 1 focus onto our destroyer and 1 focus onto our juggernaut. And each model with focus manipulability can spend. Okay, you can spend it. Blah 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 blah. Okay, now the activation phase. Okay, and this is where we assign some orders. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to assign orders to our man of war, and they have a movement of 4, but we can give them an order to run, which I believe would be +3, but we're not going to do that. We're gonna move just the 4. Now everybody has to stay within 3 inches to stay compliant. So we're just going to move these guys up like so. And then our jacks move. They have a speed of 4. And I'm just measuring from the front to the front. And we're going to move all our jacks. Move their tokens with them. Then Commander Sorsha has a movement speed of 6. And she's going to get right behind him. And we're going to move up her things, her focus. Now, she also has spells. And I think that at this time we're going to, and the spell that she's going to cast is Fog of War, and that's going to cost 3 focus. So we're going to put this focus aside over here. Alright, and I'm going to try to zoom in the camera so you can get a look at what's going on, but once we get together then I'll bring it in so you guys get a real good look. Okay, and what Fog of War does is her area of control, models gain concealment. So her control area is her command area, which is 9 inches. So from the center of her all the way out, everybody is concealed. And we went through our maintenance phase, our control phase, our activation phase, and that's about it. Now the reason I didn't even try to hit anything because everything's still on the other side of the field. So that just gives you a feeling of how the movement, how we assign our focus, how we have to stay within squad coherency. If you break out, you don't get to attack on certain things, and you are left out to get eaten alive. Now, that's the end of our turn. So now it will go over to the convergence. So now it's the convergence turn. And the first thing that we do, of course, is any effects or anything, but let's move on to the next thing, which is we're going to move, and I got to remember each things. The maintenance phase, okay, there's nothing to maintenance. Now we're going to go to control phase, in which Axis has his 6 focus, so he's going to assign his focus. He is going to assign a focus each to the Cipher and the Monitor. And what we're going to do is we're going to move, and they have a movement of 4. So he is going to move 4, which is right there. He has a range attack of 11, but as you can see that he's way out of range. The Monitor is going to move 4. And he's going to go right in between here. And then we're going to move the Galvanizers. The Galvanizer, the Diffuser, and the Mitigator. And what they're going to move is 5. They have a movement of 5. So we're going to move them up here. And of course we're going to move Axis, who has a movement of 5 as well. And he's going to move right behind. Move his focus up. Move the focus here. Now let's see, is there anything that we can cast? Well, nothing that's going to really help us, but next turn we're gonna be seeing some firefighting, I got a feeling. Range 7, this guy just has a pop. Okay, great. So with that said, that'll end their turn, and what we'll do is start turn 2. Now, at the beginning of turn 2, all focus is removed. Unused focus, that is. The area of Fog of War is gone. So if we had put, you can use these tokens to kind of remind yourself that you have an ability out there. Let's see. Yeah, I have all these tokens. Oh, for crying out loud. But sorry, I'm talking to myself trying to make sure that I get this right. So that takes care of the maintenance phase. Now the control phase, where we assign our 6 focus to Commander Sorsha. Now running is double your movement, but if you run, you can't do anything afterwards. So I don't think it's a smart idea to do any run. And these Man of Wars have a shield cannon with a range of 6. So we're kind of in a tight spot here, but what we're going to do is we're going to assign our focus to, we're going to assign 1 here and 1 there for the for our 2 jacks. We're going to leave the 3 on Sorsha, so we're going to do our movement. And we're going to come up there and kind of go around there. Now these guys are kind of almost out of coherency, so we got to kind of be careful. See how right here they're actually falling out of it, so we need to tighten up that squad when we fit through this area. There's a penalty for moving onto terrain. I believe it's half your movement. So if you had a movement of 4 inches and you were here and you moved 1 inch here, then you would only be able to move 1 inch up on top. Our jacks. The way we're doing this, it looks like, and I'm trying to be fair, I'm just trying to think what I would do here, and then when I go on the other side, try to react to it. So it'd be somewhat decent. Let's go with our Juggernaut first. We're going to move him at a rate of 4 up into here. And boy, we really don't want to get split off too much. But I think we have no choice. So we're going to move our Devastator. We're going to move him his 4 inches. Alright, we have a line of sight there, but the Devastator has a range of 14. So let's see. Oh, just short. Just short. Which doesn't do much good. We'll move up our focus. Then what we're going to do is we're going to move Sorsha 6 inches right into there. Move her focus up. Now let's see. Should we cast Fog of War again? Razor Blades, Tempest. No. Wind Rush. Full advancing game, +2 defense. Wow. For 1 round. I should have probably cast that, but I'm just going to cast the Fog of War again, and that's going to cost 3. And like I said, I'm just trying to figure this out again. So if you guys came up with a better strategy of what I was doing, or start to think of some things, I'd really appreciate it. Right here is our leader, and of course my poor movement. I moved this out of coherency. But we're going to get right into it, and I'm really not going to play too hard with the strategic aspect of it, but I kind of want to just get into a good battle here, take some shots at some people, and really see how this will play out. So again, leave some comments in the bottom and let me know what you think. So we did that. We did the control, we did the maintenance, we did the control, we did the activation phase, and that is actually it for that particular turn. Okay, so now it is the CONvergence turn. And another thing I wanted to tell you guys, when I do a full-scale battle, I actually had built a ice world last year, and I never got a chance to really play with it or anything, and I didn't even realize I had that. It was the Warhammer Games Workshop came out with those city tiles, and they also came out with the terrain tiles. Well, I had gotten 2 sets, and I was going to do one as a lava world, and I said, nah, I don't want to do a lava world. Everybody does the lava world. So I did one with the grass, which you've seen here when we've played certain games. Matter of fact, you saw us use it in the Age of Sigmar group. Really nice 6x6, I mean 6x4 piece of terrain, and they're broken up into 2x2 pieces. But I took one and I filled in the some of the gaps with some of that liquid water that hardens, and I made an entire ice world specifically for the Khador, because I do tend to favor the Khador. But let's get back to what we're doing right here. And when I play I think we're going to try a 100-point battle. I just want to make sure I get this down, and I see your comments, and I figure out what I did and didn't do, and then what I want to do is a big battle, and I'll bring the kids out, and I'll let them take one side, or I'll let them both play and just kind of referee, and you guys can hopefully enjoy that, because I know I will. Okay, so let's see what we got here. We have our galvanizer right here, but first of all, we got to do with our maintenance phase. So these two go away, along with this. There's no lasting effects, nothing we have to resolve, and now we go to the control phase, and we added our 6 focus to the axis. Now this is the first time I've ever had these guys out on the table, so this is kind of interesting for me because I have no idea what they can do. So let's see, what do we want to do here? Well, obviously we've got to apply some focus on each of these guys, because these guys are going to actually start tearing it up. So why don't we do that? So with the monitor, I mean the cipher, we're going to, as a movement of 4. Now here's an interesting thing. That fog of war, what does it actually do? I think we'll read and find out real quick. Okay, so well, what happens here is with the fog of war is it gives these models concealment, which is +2 to their defense. So this guy has moved up. He has a range of 11. Let me go get my rulers, see if he's even in range. I don't know, it's going to be kind of tight. Oh, he's in range. So he would get an attack, and it's an AoE, it's an area effect weapon. Wow. So he would have to hit, so rate of fire is twice. He gets no map bonus. Huh. So you don't add anything, so you would have to roll 2 dice against his defense? Or does it automatically hit? That's an interesting thing. Arcing fire. When attacking with this weapon, this model can ignore intervening models except those within 1 inch of the target. Huh. Servopod mortar. Wow, that's not nice. So each time this model makes a normal ranged attack, choose one of the following abilities. Bombardment. Models hit suffer a POW 6 blast damage roll. Okay. Crater. AoE is rough terrain and remains in play for 1 round. Flare. Models hit by this attack suffer -2 for 1 round. Steady. This model cannot be knocked down. Okay. I I think we're going to go for a bombardment. Alright, area effect weapon. So what happens is we take this template and we use the 4-inch blast, and we have to see where it's going to go. And it's going to go 4. Okay, so it would go 4, but how far? I think you roll. Let me take a look. Okay, because the way we had it, okay, that's the target. Oops. Or do I have the other template there? No, that's the right template. So that would be the target. If I rolled a 1, it would hit directly on the target, but I rolled 4, which means it's short of the target. Now I roll a d6 and see how many inches it deviates. And it's going to deviate 2 inches. So it is just enough. Yeah, it just hits him. So now his armor, because he is the Juggernaut, his armor is 20. So it's 2d6 plus, I believe, plus 6, because it's a bombardment weapon, which is his POW. Hit suffer a 6. Okay, so 6 plus 2d6 is 7, is 13, and it does absolutely nothing. So there you go. So that didn't do too much. I should have powered up and used another die to do some damage to him, but I did not, because I could have used his focus to do that. Alright, so the next guy to move is the Monitor, and he's going to move 4 inches that way. Oops. Take his focus with him. He has a range of 13. Alright. And he also has some absolutely brutal things. Critical brutal damage. No, that's steady. True sight. Oh wow. There's a power 13. Range of fire. Okay. Range of 13. He has concealment. He's just short, so we're not even going to worry about him. Now the Galvanizer is going to move 5. Diffuser is going to move 5, and the Mitigator is going to move 5. And he has a, which I thought was short. Yeah, it is short, 11 inches. And what we're going to do is move the axis up 5. We're going to try to keep them right in harmonious range here, but I kind of left them wide open, which isn't cool. Let's see if we can cast something on him that would give him some defense. Nope, that's about it. It's kind of hard to hit anyways at 17. So let's leave it at that. He also has a feat. Let's see what his feat is of. Enemy models currently in Axis control area suffer -2 speed and strength, and friendly faction models currently in Axis control gain +2 and +2 strength. Wow, that'll last 1 round, so we may need that a little later. Alright, so far that completes this round, and let's move on to the next round. Okay, yeah, I think I kind of screwed up that area weapon somehow, but it's kind of weird because I've never played with those guys, and if it was just a regular it showed me some kind of range modifier to originally hit with. But I guess we'll figure it out, and if you guys know better, please leave it in the comments. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do our first phases here, where we're going to I think this is going to be maybe a 2-part video, just so it doesn't go too long, and that way I can read over a few things, see some of your comments. So I want to get into a firefight, and then what I'll do is I'll come back out after I get some of your comments and stuff like that, and then we can go from there. We can work out some of the things that I did wrong here. But let's just start with our maintenance phase. So we're going to take all this away. Then we're going to apply all this. She's going to start with her 6 focus again. And now I think we're going to start seeing some firefighting here. Now, like an idiot, I put my leader over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move him over, because he's going to go 4 inches right there. And we're just going to kind of move everybody up. So we have sight. Great. Now, it's 6 inches and they don't have the range. Oh wow. Nope. 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 They do not have the range for that. Okay. So, wow, I didn't give these guys any focus. Alright, that's alright. I'm going to make mistakes, so I'm not going to give them any focus, because I should have done that during my control phase. Instead I went right to the activation phase. Yeah, I got too excited. So, what we're going to do is, well, maybe we can do something with her, +2 movement when it charges. You can measure ahead of time, but that wouldn't be enough. And 4 and 8 wouldn't be enough to get over there. No, I think I got a pretty good idea what I'm going to do. Alright, so we're going to move up 4 with our melee guy. We got to try to start getting him in there, but we're going to move 4 with our destroyer, and our destroyer has a bombardment. Okay, it's an arcing fire. When attacking with this model, this model can ignore intervening models except those within 1 inch of its target. Okay, so what's going to happen is I am going to shoot my bombardment, because I know I'm well within 14 inches, which I am, and I'm going after our boy right here. So we have +4, +2 dice, okay, and we have to roll over his defense. So let's see what he has for a defense. And that guy right there has a defense of 10. So we're 4, so we need 6 or better on 2 dice. So let's see what we got. Let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit, guys, so you guys get a better look at this. There we go. I think. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so he's shooting. This guy right here, we need, he has a range, what do they call it, range attack value, or, yeah, range attack value of 4. So, on 2 dice, we get 6, that's 10. Do you have to beat it? There's an interesting notion there. Alright, let's take a look at this real quick. Boy, anything that can go wrong here. Why couldn't I have just beaten it? Alright, attacks. Attack roll determines blah 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 blah. So attack roll directly. It's a target is less than. Okay, a target is directly hit by an attack if the attack roll equals or exceeds. Okay, so he hit. Alright, well, we figured out that drama. Alright, so now, his weapon has a POW of, oh, it's an area effect range. Oh, wow. Okay, whoops. Alright, so that hit. So, what that means now, since it's an area effect of 3, which there's the target and the 4, and we're going to roll, and it's a 4, so it's going to come forward. Oh, awesome. How many inches does it come forward? 1. So he's still underneath it. Doesn't affect this model right here. Alright, great. I think we figured that out and we did that correctly. So now our POW of 14 plus 2 dice. And I wish this is one time where I wish I jacked it up there. Ugh, 2s. That's 16. And I believe on this guy he has a thing of 17. No, 19. So that didn't help at all. So it was a complete utter failure. Did not break his armor. Bounced right off, and that's the end of his turn. Now Sorsha can go, and she's just going to move up. We're going to move her up 5 this way. And we're going to cast... It's got to be something. Yeah, we're gonna cast our Fog of War and get them +2 defense there. These guys are hung out to dry, and CONvergence turn is next. And so let's leave that right there. And I'm going to put this video together. I'm going to put it up online, and tell me some of the things that you think I missed at, and that I could have done better, or what you guys think. And what we'll do is I'm going to leave everything like this, and then what we're going to do is for the next video I'm going to take all your comments and everything like that, and we're going to have a little question and answer beforehand, and then we're going to go forward and we're going to play the rest of this out. How's that sound? I think that sounds pretty good, because it'll actually help me learn this game better, so when I do the big game we get it down correctly and I'm doing everything right. So with that said, thanks for watching this. I look forward to your comments, and we'll talk to you soon.